This is really frustrating. Hello, can you hear me? Nancy, I can hear you. Can you hear me? No, I can't. Can anybody hear me? Denise, can you hear me?
Hi, Marianne. I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, I thought I was going nuts here.
No, I was on mute myself, but I can't hear Nancy, so.
Okay. All right, great. No, I can't figure out why she can't. I have my camera on. I tested it before I got on here, and why she can't see me, I don't know.
Me too. I have my camera on.
Huh.
See.
Oh, I see you now. What did you do?
On the bottom left-hand corner is stop video. It's the second button over.
Oh, let's see. I always thought that button was about recording.
No.
You just taught me something. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I usually don't like to have it on because it's distracting for me to see myself.
Well, I agree with that part.
Poor Nancy.
Oh, I know how frustrating this can be too.
I know.
Where are you located, Denise?
I'm in Texas. I'm just outside of Dallas, on the east side of Dallas, in a small town called Heath, Texas.
Ah, okay. Well, at least you're not in Florida when in harm's way.
Oh, I know. I heard about that. We moved to Texas about 5 years ago from the New England area and then New Jersey, and we were always in some kind of weather-related issue. Down here, it's just hot.
Yeah, well, it is hot there for sure.
Yeah.
Did you move for professional reasons or family or?
Well, let's see. I first moved in the 90s to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I moved to Boston, and then it was all about going on a career journey. And then I had a baby, my third child, and decided to become a coach. So in the early 2000s, I was working from home, basically.
Well, that I've been doing that for a long time. I certainly prefer it to going into an office.
Oh, I know. I looked at your, I think, LinkedIn profile. I see you've worked at many different places. So I've definitely done my corporate stint. So
Been there, done that too. How old are your children now?
well, I have a 38-year-old, a 37-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
Oh my goodness gracious. I thought they were still little from the way that you look.
No, thank you. No, I'm past my retirement age, that's for sure.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Nancy's here. Let's see
Hey,
if I
Nancy.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Apologies for the technical issue. I'm here. I see that the call was happening even while I wasn't here, which I love. So catch me up. What were you talking about?
Chit chat.
What's that?
Just chit chat.
Oh, okay. Well, I
where do you
apologize that I was
live?
late.
Pardon me?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know why we're having difficulty, but hopefully you can all hear me. I see that Denise and Marianne and Virginia is here and Andrea is here, and there's someone with an area code of 425. If you've got an area code of 425, just tell me who you are so I can celebrate you. And who wants to go first? Want to raise a hand, somebody? Marianne, why don't you go first since you're always so Johnny on the spot and ready to go.
Well, I don't really have too much to contribute. I really love to listen to the conversation. I'm very grateful for the feedback, Nancy, that you gave me on the book sell sheet. You know, the purpose of the sell sheet was for my book was to use it for back of the room sales, the handout, but also for any kind of events. And I'm about to start to work on getting into some of the local bookstores here. And so that would be a piece to use as a marketing piece. And so I really loved your feedback, and I'm very grateful.
Oh, very good. And I had one other piece of feedback for you, because I happen to have that right here. It's right here. And when you have something in the back of the room that has a button that says buy now, if it's a physical piece of paper, they don't have the ability to click on it, so they don't know where they're going. And so what you might want to do is actually put a real URL there. So if it's a physical thing, they say, well, where can I get it? Because you say it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, which is awesome. But if it's something I'm just got a couple other ideas for you.
Okay, great.
If you're wanting to speak and you actually have books in the back of the room that you want to sell, you might want to have a sign-up sheet that says, how many books would you like?
I like it.
1, 5, or 10. One of my clients, Dr. Susan O'Malley, wrote a book called Tough Cookies Don't Crumble, How to Turn Setbacks into Success. And she does a really wonderful talk about this. But what she does at the end of her talks, let's say your book is $20. If everyone in the room buys the book and there's 100 people in the room, you've sold some books, and that's really great. But what she does is she says, here's my challenge to you ladies. You're going to buy one of these for yourself, you're going to buy one of these for your best friend, and you're going to buy one of these for the BFF to come later, as in best friend forever to come later. Because I promise you, you're going to get invited to a cocktail party or an open house or some kind of special occasion, and you can bring a book to the party instead of a bottle of wine or whatever, the cheese or whatever people are doing, and you can create new readers for your book. So if you have 100 people in the room and all 100 people buy 3 copies of your book, you've just tripled your money.
That's a great idea. Then does she give it like a discount if you buy 3 or more, you get some kind of a...
Yeah, she does. And so, a suggestion is offer just a little bit of a discount, but also offer it at a simple price point that people might have maybe they have 3 $20 bills in their pocket. Something that if people are going to be paying with cash, I'll never forget the time that Jack Canfield, who debuted the Success Principles at the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce in 2005, January, and he gave this wonderful talk about the Success Principles. And the book, which I happen to have right here, he was selling it at the time for $24.95. And so he said, people, today's the debut of my book. And if you want it, just stand in line with your $20 and I'll happily sign it for you. And so, just a second here. He signed it. Okay, so he discounted it from $24.95 to $20. But do you know how many people were standing in line with a $20 bill just wanting to give him the cash and dash? Give me the cash and dash. Give me the cash and dash. So if people have money, make sure it's an easy denomination. And that's the easy way to make money. And number two, there's something called a square, and it's a simple little item you can plug into your phone. Enter in what you're going to sell the book for. You buy one of them for $24.95, and you can have 3 of them for $60. Just enter it as an SKU in your dashboard for whatever. But then old school, always have like an order form. And if you like, I'll post one of my order forms in the Facebook group, and you can just copy, paste it, and change the information to be your information. But I always, when I go to a thing where there's going to be book sales, I have my square just in case the Wi-Fi is working. I have my order form in case we need to go old school with a pen and a sign-up sheet. And of course, I have my sign-up sheet. And my big takeaway for everybody is, if you can sell 1 book, why not sell 5?
Great idea. Great idea.
Right. And then you might also do a drawing if you're speaking and give away one of your books, or one of your books plus a consultation about how to flourish in retirement. Because if there are 100 people in the room, that's 100 people in the room that could, by permission only, grant you the opportunity to add their name to your email list, so you can continue to nurture those new leads to become clients. And many gurus say the more people that you have on your newsletter list or your email list, the greater control you have over your prosperity, because you can make offers at any time to those people. But if you don't have anybody paying attention, you don't have an audience of people that can buy what you want them to benefit from, which is a huge missed opportunity.
Great. And so that's a great idea. So for the drawing, do you like pass around baskets for people to put their cards in?
Yeah.
Great idea.
And can I tell you a funny story? This is, talk about not being prepared. Are you ready to be like amused this morning? Would you like to be amused?
Sure.
I see some smiles. Okay. So I got invited to do a talk on, I think it must have been a Bye-Bye Boring Bio talk at an event where there were 200 people in the room. And I got to have a marketing table at the back of the room, and it was a 3-day event. And when I did the talk, the host said, you can give the talk, but you can't sell anything until the 3rd day, because he wanted to make sure that he got the bounty of the bigger sales, and anything that was left over got delivered to me. And those were the rules I had to play. So I go to this event and I do this talk, and it went really, really well. And I knew he was the star, so I didn't want to steal his thunder, and I just totally supported him the whole time. And then it's the 3rd day, and I get to actually sell stuff on the 3rd day. And I was supposed to be at my booth at 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I got there at about 9:45, and there was a line waiting for people to meet me and buy whatever it was I was selling. I totally didn't expect that. And I didn't have enough order forms to accommodate all the people that were there. So I asked one of my, someone who was very kind, I said, would you consider taking this to the front desk and having copies made? And then some guy says to me, I know you're selling this low ticket project, but I want to work with you privately. What's it going to take? I totally didn't expect that. And I said, I pulled from air, PFA, an idea of what it would cost to work with me in this manner. He said, how much? I took a pen and I wrote down how much and what he would get. And then he looked me right in the eye And he said, how much if I pay you in cash? How much if I pay you in cash? And I said, I'll take 10% off the price. So he goes back to his car and he comes back with this wad of cash. I didn't have a cash box. I didn't have my purse with me. I didn't have any clothing item that had pockets. And I had all this money in my hand. And I thought, what am I going to do? I tucked it in my bra.
Oh, the bag lady.
It was sticking out and it was everything like that. And so it was like, it was the last thing I expected. So what I learned from that is wear something with pockets with cash as being, bring a cash box, make sure you've got a way to collect the money with a square or with a written form. And you just might find yourself having a bra full of cash. And I'll never forget, this was the funniest part about it, and I'll stop talking in a minute, but I came home, you know how you go through the airport and they're checking you through and everything. And so I come home and my husband helps me get into the house and I start unpacking and I reach in here and I throw this money on the counter. He says to me, what were you doing in San Diego? It was so funny.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah.
Hopefully within that little diatribe, you got some takeaways about how you can your book sell sheet is great, but make sure they can click on something so they don't have to wonder.
Okay.
If you can collect the money right then and there, it's always better to collect the money right then and there. And then don't just ask for one book, ask for 3 or 5.
Perfect. Thank you. Great advice.
And then, Marianne, you've done such a good job with your speaker sheet. Now you have a book sell sheet. What's next on your agenda? What are you going to do?
Oh, I have. All right. This is the list of things to do, and each one of them have multiple. You have to do it multiple times. I've got a whole lot of things to do, but I'm reaching out to journalists, and after Labor Day, I'm going to start reaching out to some local organizations for speaking. I applied for, at your great suggestion, I applied for Certified Financial Planner Association or board thing to get a course certified. I haven't heard back from them yet, so I'm on a roll.
So here's something we learned about the CFP Board of Standards. You actually have to pay the money when you make the submission in order to get their attention.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, I wrote to them and said, we might, maybe this should be an aside because I don't want to take away from everybody else finishing their speaker sheet.
Well, we can have a sidebar conversation subsequently, but here's what happened with my husband. He submitted the topic and the write-up and our qualifications as a separate thing, and we were waiting like a week, and we were expecting either a yes or a no, and nothing was happening. And so he picked up the phone and he called them and he said, I made the submission, what's the status? And they said, if you have to make a payment before we will have it reviewed. And it was like, oh, okay, well, let's pay. And we did.
Because it's like $500. Well, anyway, I asked them if they could give me an idea of whether or not it would be, because it's kind of out of the box, if they would give me an idea of whether or not it was something that they were likely to approve. That's because I don't want to pay $500 and for them to then say, no, you can't, we're not going to approve you.
Okay. I think the key is to have your topic anchored to very specific financial planning principles that they need to maintain in order to keep their coveted credential.
Yeah.
So, if you feel like that, let's see what they say and then pivot as necessary.
Okay. Thanks for your advice.
That's my advice. You're welcome. And then my final piece of advice for you, and this is something that I've learned from harsh experience. Sometimes we can create a really long list of things that we're supposed to do, and we get lost in the busyness of everything that's on the list. If we could be judicious about what is on the list and ask ourselves, to what extent will a win in this task bring me money or the audience I need? ask that question so that you don't get lost in the administrivia of life. Because sometimes we do that because we want to check a box on our to-do list, but if it doesn't bring us closer to the cash, we have to revisit that and decide if that's really the best use of our time.
I so agree with you. So my list actually is has prioritized these items in a group of 1 to 5. And so from my perspective, if I don't have it written down, I keep saying, I'm going to forget it. I'm going to forget it. At least now it's on the list. I know when I get to it, here's the list.
Good.
So
Okay.
I'm
good.
focused on the priority 1, which criteria are exactly that.
Excellent.
Lead to the money.
Awesome. Yes. Well, way to participate like a rock star, Marianne. And I think I'll go and help another gal who's showing up also. And I'm sure there'll be additional value as we talk to the next person. And since Denise is here, you are on. I'm trying there. Let's see. You are unmuted now, I think. Denise, can you speak up?
Hell, I'm here.
Yay. So you've made some excellent progress on your speaker sheet.
Well, it's not done yet, but I'm making a lot of progress because it's helping me to get clear about one speaking topic that I want to focus on.
Outstanding. So how did you feel about the feedback I provided you in the Facebook group?
I loved it. The only thing I don't understand was the comment regarding the organization. Can you explain that?
Yes, I'm going to the Facebook group now. Just give me a second here. I'm just going to search for Denise. I'm moving this folder over here. Denise Henry. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for you on the left-hand side of the navigation so it can come up fast, and there it is.
Check the parallel construction of your bullet point.
Oh, yes. I'm going to explain that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pull this up. Denise, don't go away. I'm just having a little hard time pulling this up. Oh, here it is. Okay. Open the file. Okay. It's opening. Okay, it's open now. So it says in this program, the audience will learn so that's learn is a verb, and then you've got reveal, determine, and create that are the start of 3 of your bullets. So what you could do is say in this program, comma, your audience will, semicolon, and the first one would be learn that they are not alone.
Perfect.
So it says your audience will, and then they will learn, they will reveal, they will determine, they will create. You see, that makes it parallel construction.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for those of you who are not familiar with what Denise talks about, she's the remarkably different, authentic, and powerful retirement lifestyle mastery keynote speaker. And her signature topic is Mastering Your Retirement, 3 steps to retiring with contribution, purpose, and joy instead of coupon clipping, TV watching, and boredom. Here's how right now. And it says, are you willing to confess that life in retirement is a disappointment, especially after anticipating this time of your life for so many years? Now's the time to do something about it. You're going to learn, bam, bam, and bam. And then you say that you're a motivating speaker, transition and retirement coach, author, facilitator, and then you said, and speaker again. You see that?
I erased it. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So then you weave in some of your other topics and that you speak from around the country and that they shouldn't, you could play with your call to action. Retirement is the best part of your life. Don't wait. Book Denise Henry today. Don't delay your retirement dissatisfaction a moment longer. Book Denise Henry today. That's a way to make your call to action relevant to what you talk about. That might be just a subtle upgrade.
I'm typing.
Oh, good. And then when I was corresponding with Denise in the Facebook group, I suggested if she's spoken to other groups, does she have logos of the groups that she's spoken to for visual impact? And I remember asking you, have you written a book, or do you have a free gift or any kind of a item that you can sell or give away?
I have not written a book on this topic. I've written other book on leadership and coaching, but not on this. So I don't have anything to give away at this point.
So up until now, I haven't had a good gift to give away. But now that I'm inspired to create one, I'm going to do it right away. Like Robin Daly, when she started this course, she didn't have one either, but now she has this one. The 5 surprisingly simple ways to love the home you're in. And now she has a gift. So why could this be of value to your speaker sheet? If you have a gift to give away, you can show a visual of it, and you can offer the URL where people can go and get it. So if they hire you to speak, brilliant. And if they don't hire you to speak, but they go get your digital download, at least you've captured their name and their email address so you can nurture them to become a customer at some later point, right?
That's awesome. What was it that you showed me? I didn't see that.
Oh, Robin used a free program called Canva. You can go to canva.com, and she used some of the free templates that are on that site, and she created this beautiful report. And she also offered a picture of it in the Facebook group. So if you go to the left-hand side of your navigation in the Facebook group and you type in Robin Daly, you can see what she created. And, you know, when you give valuable content away to your future client, and it showcases your tone of voice, your playful spirit, your way of being, in addition to your useful practical tips that solve a problem that your client is eager to solve. It's a way for people to create a know, like, trust factor with you, and to warm them up so that whatever next step you want them to take, they're more likely to take. So in Robin's case, she explains the 5 surprisingly simple ways to love the home you're in. She has a bio box that explains what's special and different about her, a pretty picture of herself. And then the call to action is, are you ready for a change? Do you have that blah, blah, blah feeling when you walk through the front door instead of the wow, I'm so excited to be home reaction? Let's talk. This is the perfect time to book a signature design and color consultation with Robin. You'll have a full 2 hours of access to my designer brain for a fun, highly productive design session focused specifically on your home. You receive a record of the meeting, which includes color specifications, sketches, and ideas you can implement right away. Call this number or email Robin to start making your dreams a reality. She just asked for the order. So if she was giving a talk anywhere about the 5 surprisingly simple ways to love the home you're in, and she gave this away to everybody or invited everybody to download it, out of the 100 people in the room, maybe 10 of the people would say, hey, I want to have that consultation. And if let's say she charges $500 for 2-hour sessions, if 10 of them say yes to it, she just made herself some real money. And you know what? When you do design work, 2 hours is just the tip of the iceberg. Typically, it's like I tested you out for 2 hours. Now I'm ready to do my whole dining room or my whole first floor or redo my master bedroom in a way that I never knew how great it could be. And now that I loved the first 2 hours, I'm ready to do 10 more, in which case she can make a whole lot more money, right?
Quick question though, is the talk the same thing as what she's giving away? Is it, a more information?
Well, it can be. It can be. What you can share in a written document is usually the Cliff Notes version of what you might speak about in 20 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour. When you get a chance to speak on a stage, there's more opportunity and latitude to share stories, anecdotes, partner share activities, all kinds of things. So it can be the same. So in your case, you know, you're sharing with people how to master their retirement. But what you might consider, and I think you might have one of these, unless I'm getting confused, you could do some kind of a quiz. You've retired. How's it going? You know, I'm having the time of my life, or I'd rather be in Philadelphia. You know, are you fighting more with your husband more than ever? Are you grasping for purpose and not sure? You know, like if people take a quiz to, you know, it's sort of like, you know, those magazines that we all read, you know, way back when, you know, how good of a parent are you? How good are you in the sack? You know, that sort of thing. If you take a quiz and you discover that your score is low, that helps you get present to how important it is to take action to improve. And if people are in that mindset that they're ready to improve, what do you know? There you are, the expert in this. You can guide them to the outcome that they desire. Does that make sense?
That's great. I love that idea.
So just for kicks, I may have shared this before, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. My husband is a certified financial planner professional, and one of the services that he offers is a retirement readiness quiz. And one of people's greatest fears about retirement is that they're going to run out of money before they run out of time, or that they're going to end up under a bridge in a van instead of in their comfortable home in a beautiful location, right? So he has a quiz, ReadySetRetireQuiz.com, ReadySetRetireQuiz.com, and if for no other reason than to evaluate how he's doing it, go get it, because you're going to land on the quiz. You're going to land on the quiz. You're going to take the quiz. You're going to get highly involved in the experience of taking the quiz. And then when you hit enter, instantaneously, you're going to get a report that tells you how ready you are to retire, what your score is. If you are highly committed to making changes to ensure that your abundant retirement is a reality, you will likely get a phone call from one of his team members. If you have a low commitment to action, you know you've got problems, but you're not ready to do anything about it, you'll get a different kind of autoresponder that says, it looks like this is important to you, but you're not ready to take any action. If you want to continue to learn from us, we'll share with you our newsletter, and when you're ready, we'll be here for you, right? So check it out to see how the quiz software works. And if you want to do a quiz like that, Jane Duber of smartbizquiz.com can help you create one. It's very inexpensive, and it may be the lead generation tool that you've been looking for to get people into your world who actually need what it is that you're offering.
Nice. Thank you, Nancy.
So how does that,
that's
does
great.
that feel good?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then just because I'm curious, and I don't know if I'm going to be putting you on the spot or anything, but is this a new career for you, or this is something you've been doing a long time?
Oh, I've been doing executive coaching and leadership coaching for about 17 years, and I retired about 18 months ago and decided after I retired that I didn't want to retire. I wanted to help people retire better. And so I've decided to get back into coaching, but with a different niche.
I love that. So I've heard of people that are like, don't retire, refire.
Yeah.
You know, so you can come up with so this is an encore career for you, and you're walking your own talk, 3 proven ways for your next stage to be your finest hour. I actually, you know, obviously like that one a lot. So the reason I was asking you if it was a new thing or not is that, you know, how do you make money doing it? You're going to be making money as a speaker. You're going to be making money coaching people, right?
Right.
So do you have coaching packages already created so that you can sell people into them?
Actually, I'm doing a group coaching package. I'm not going to be doing one-on-one. I'm going to be working with people in a group.
Okay, and so the question is, have you created that course yet?
No, no. I'm in the process of doing it right now.
So if what you might be thinking about is, I mean, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but part of speaking is also making money. So have you thought about what price point you want to start people, you know, what kind of investment are you inviting people to make in order to benefit from this awesome group training program?
Yes, I've been thinking about that. I haven't been thinking, though, about how much to charge for speaking, because basically I've been speaking for free in the community that I'm in right now.
So this is a good conversation to have. You know, if you're speaking for free, that's awesome. And the reason it's important to know what your package is going to be selling for, again, I'm pulling from air, PFA. Let's just say that your group coaching program sells for $997. And it's going to be 6 weeks or whatever. We're just pulling from air, $997. If there's 100 people in the room, you might get 3 to 10% of the people in the room to want to buy what you're selling. So if there's 100 people in the room, and let's just be optimistic and say 10% of them want to buy it, 10% of those people might spend $997 with you, which would mean that that would be a $10,000 speaking gig. Right?
Yep.
And would that be a good result for you? And if every time you give the talk and you get 10% of the people to buy the $997 thing, that becomes a cash machine for you, because you know that every time you give the talk, even if you're not paid to do it, if you deliver your invitation in a powerful way, 10 of the 100 people will buy, and you'll make $10,000 every time you do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for you and everyone else in the course, if you have something you're going to be selling, you know, if you have a book, you know, that sells for $25, you know, 10 people, you can sort of do the math and see why people want to bring things to market that have higher price points. And there are some people that sell really expensive coaching programs for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year. If you have one person in an audience of 100 that says they want to do that, you just had yourself a really good payday, you know? So you want to think about what you're going to be offering and at what price point, so that you can start doing the math about how productive each speaking gig is for you. Does that make sense?
Yep, got it. Thank you.
So
And
do you feel like you got some?
you also made a comment about including that in the topic of the speaking engagement, that I will be offering something, if I remember correctly.
Well, I guess I was asking, what are you going to offer? You know, I was at I'll just give you an example. I went to a breakfast meeting today, and there was a really good speaker there, and she did something that I'm just going to tell you what I think about what she did, because I think it's better to talk about. I'm just looking for the piece of paper here. She had a handout. She did a really great job with her talk, and then she threw away her offer. She threw it away. She basically gave us she gave us 3 different offers to consider in the final 2 minutes of her presentation. And none of them stood out as particularly amazing. And I am guessing that very few people took her up on any of what she suggested. And so what I think might have been better for her is to consider, of the 3 offers that she's making, which would be the best one for this group, and lead with one amazing offer that's clear, specific, and compelling. And then maybe people would know what to do. But when you give people too many choices in the last couple of seconds, sometimes people don't know what to do, so they do nothing, which is a bummer.
I agree.
So if you give people, you know, like, I'm just going to give an example. If you sell a high-end coaching program, like you said, you're selling a $997 thing. Is that the kind of thing that people can instantly enroll in without having to have a discovery session with you first?
That was not what I was planning on. I was planning on having a conversation with somebody, and then they get to enroll into the program. People will already be in it, and so it's a group of people that are taking the same kind of steps and processes at different times.
So, well, here's where I wanted to go with that. Sometimes people can be so persuasive from the stage and show so much expertise and deliver so much value and have so much personality that the people in the audience know right away that that's the guide that they've been looking for. And so if that would be your situation, you can say, great news, my next Rock Your Retirement class is starting 2 weeks from today. And because you're here right now, you get to have a right here, right now special offer, so you can join us and you can save this much money to join me in 2 weeks, so we can keep this party going and really get to the promised land together. I've got order forms here. I'd love to have you on board. We're going to rock this thing. The beauty of that is that you've got a captive audience right there in the room. You're letting them know 2 weeks from now you're starting this thing, and because they're there right now, if they make they're rapid decision makers, they can benefit from that at a special today only price, and that just might get them off the fence and into your camp.
Yeah.
But if that happened and 10 people said yes to your $997, well, that's a nice payday. Even if you took a slight discount, it's still a nice payday. And if you don't want to do a discount and you're like Marianne and you have a book, you can say, and for everyone who signs up today for our retirement readiness, whatever we're calling it, not only will you get everything that I promised and so much more, but I'm going to stand here and pose for a picture and sign my book for you so you can start the learning right now.
That's awesome.
Because if you give away a $20 book or $40 book, but you got $997 in for this awesome training that's starting in 2 weeks, that's solving an urgent problem that people really are struggling with, and they know you're the gal to get them to the promised land, why would they delay a moment longer?
That's great advice.
So do you feel like you got some value?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
We have other people that want to be speaking up too, so can I move on to another person and make sure everybody gets the same?
Absolutely.
So good on you, Denise. You're doing a great job, and thanks for being a doer. I love that about you. All right, so now I'm going to call on Andrea. Or Andrea, if you'd like to unmute yourself, that would be great.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great.
How's it going?
It's going great. I tons of stuff. This has been fantastic. Thank you. I mean, it's just been amazing. Yay. I had conflicts the last 2 sessions, so I couldn't be on them. I was really sad, but I've been working on the speaker sheet, and I worked more today, so I didn't give you a lot of time. I uploaded it to the group.
Oh, good. Let me go and look at it. Let me go and see. Everybody gets what they came for. Oh, here it is. Awesome. It's opening now.
Mm-hmm. So I have some questions.
Okay.
As I went through and I modified some things based on our last session. I add some pictures, and just sort of took a format that I saw someone had with the different headlines. But my question was at the very beginning, where I put the name of the, I separated, I don't know if this was right or wrong, or if I gave too many options. So for example, you can see that I have 3 different presentations for either keynote or breakout sessions. And then I put in workshops, 2 workshops. And I didn't know if that was a good thing to do on a speaker sheet. Because the, see what I did? I broke it up. And I don't know if I should, go ahead.
Well, here's what I want to say about that. One is, I'm going to say a couple of things. I love the branding. Looks really cool and slick and modern. I would move your photo to the front, the top of the page, because they're not just buying your topics, they're buying you. And
Okay.
you're hiding lower. Then I want you to be front and center instead of buried.
Okay.
And so what you have here is a lot of content. So let me just read it. 4 tragic mistakes to building a profit-driven financial wealth business model and how you can avoid them. And I love this. How to create a new business vision and understand who and how to hire an A-team. I like that. How to build the futuristic superpowered financial team that creates raising fans. From sneakers to is it channel or with 2 N's? Or?
It's Chanel. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Chanel.
From
I think
sneakers
it's
to
supposed to
Chanel
be
and
2
high
N's,
heels.
right? Yeah.
I get it. How I built a successful business in a male-dominated industry. So you have, let's see, camaraderie, I think is not spelled right.
Yeah, I think that's
Camaraderie.
yeah.
But I'm just, so here's my comment. Excellent content here, and it may be a little too much for one speaker sheet, because speaker sheets tend to be just the front and back, and yours has 6 pages.
Okay.
Oh, look at that picture of you in the white suit with you look so good.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah,
what I was going to suggest is everything you have here is excellent, and I kind of want to go to another screen and look at your website. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Just don't go away, everybody. I'm just copy. I'm going to another screen. I want to see what your website looks like, because I have another suggestion for you. Oh, there we go. There you are. Okay. Systems and strategies to quickly grow your business. The key to hiring book. Okay. Team Mastermind. Andrew Team Mastermind Academy. Might want to have more time to look at this than I have. This was my idea for you. If I click on the speaking tab of your website,
yep.
We've got who you are. You're definitely asking for the order on that book. You've got some of your engagements. So you've already done this, which was going to be my suggestion, is much of what you have on your speaker sheet can also be on your website.
Okay.
And you've done that. So my suggestion for the speaker sheet is, if you had to be incredibly judicious about the space that you have, and you had to lead with the top 3 programs that you get most consistently booked for, which 3 would they be? And then could you also just tuck in a little sentence that says additional workshops are in the wings to meet your specific terrific requirements? Because then you don't have to give them the whole song and dance. You can just let them know that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and why don't we get on the phone and drill down on what would be of ideal service to your audience.
I love that.
Because you might be able to do one of those buy me once, buy me twice, because you could say to the person, listen, it sounds like the theme of your conference is empowerment for women who want to build great wealth. What if I have a keynote and also a breakout session, or a keynote and a VIP session for people who want to come one day early, or this and something more? Because what if they had you for 2 or 3 sessions at that event instead of just one, and you were able to triple your money?
Love it.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, and there's someone who I highly, highly admire. Her name is Lori Guest, and she is a speaker with the National Speakers Association. And I have learned so much. She's one of those generous, amazing women. Look her up, Lori Guest, Laurie.
Okay.
But she gets 5-figure speaking gigs every time she's up to bat.
Wow.
And the way her website looks, she positions herself first and foremost as a keynote speaker. And I was going to ask you, of all the things that you do, you coach, you speak, you lead a luxury retreat, you also have products. You got yourself the full meal deal here. So if speaking is going to, do you want speaking to be your big thing, or what is the thing that you do that you want to be your big thing?
So, yes, speaking is my best way of communicating. You know, a lot of people do it through email or, you know, internet marketing. It's really, speaking is probably my gift. So I have a new book coming out in the fall for financial advisors, and that one, the How to Build a Futuristic Superpower Financial Team, relates to that book. That's going to be the new point of view of what I think the industry, how it's going to change. So I want to speak, probably that would be the key thing I'd want to drive, that or the one prior to that, the 4 Tragic Mistakes. They're one and the same, it's just a little different twist on it. Some of the more advanced guys, go ahead.
So I have a suggestion.
Sure.
And you probably have this given as much speaking as you're already doing. But you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a sizzle reel or a video that shows you rocking the stage. Do you have one?
No, it's interesting you should say that, because I was going to actually ask you that today. So have you ever heard of a woman by the name of Kristen White?
I have not heard of her. Up until today, I hadn't heard of her, but I'm sure she's awesome.
Again, this is new. So I spoke to 2 people that do presentation coaching, and she used to be in the media industry. Anyways, she's got a program where she'll help you create your keynote speech and then do a sizzle reel for it. So I'm just signed up with her because I thought, wow, I don't have that.
Well, I'll tell you what I really think about that. For the longest time, for me, having a sizzling speaker sheet was all I really needed, and I was, a newbie, and then I became much better, and then I decided I really ought to take myself more seriously and give people a bite-sized taste of what they can expect when they bring me to their stage. Decision makers that are trying to decide, like at the local women's group and the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary and the service groups, you have a really good chance to get in front of those people. But when you want to take your place at the National Speakers Association or the National Association of Professional Financial Advisors or whatever big industry group that you want to be in front of, if you have a 2 to 3 minute sizzle reel that shows what you're really like when you're on the stage, it just puts you in a whole other category of serious contenders that are worthy of attention. And so I had a sizzle reel done from a couple of, I had a woman actually create this wonderful reel of some of the best snippets of some of my performances with some photos and some testimonials. And when I started showing it to people, people were like, wow, she's a cut above, she's so prepared, she's such a professional. And all of a sudden things started shaking up for me. So I am a big fan of, when you're ready to up your game and get onto those bigger stages where they're paying bigger bucks, or the people are paying big bucks to be in that room and they want to be wowed, have a video, absolutely. And you can look at like Lori Guest, she has a sizzle reel. Bill Stainton, who did a TED Talk, has a wonderful sizzle reel. I've got one that served me very nicely, but I'm not even in that class with those folks. I'm kind of in my own little bucket. But I think you're ready for it, Andrea. You should definitely do it. And the gal that was at the talk today, who did a really nice job, I asked her, do you have anyone in the room capturing snippets of your talk on their iPhone? No, it never occurred to me. And I said, well, who do you have in the audience that can do that for you? And so, because one good talk in front of 100 people could be a talk you upload to YouTube that you could share with a whole lot more people. And then what could happen, right?
I love it.
You should record every talk wherever you go, if for no other reason than to listen to it back and see how you can improve for the next time. And if you've rocked it, it would be a disservice not to share it, because the more people who see it, the more people are going to want to bring you to their stage. And wouldn't that be a great outcome too?
Oh, I love it. And how do you spell Lori's last name?
It's Guest, G-U-E-S-T. And you know what's so funny? She is a customer service expert. And her
Really?
last name is Guest. I mean, are there accidents in the world? I mean, isn't that hysterical? So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to my YouTube channel, and I am going to find for you, I have a sizzle reel. I'll post it in the Facebook group. I'll post it so y'all can see it if you're interested. Oh, here it is, right here.
That would be great.
Yeah, I what I did in my case, I'm going to just type it in the chat. I just put it in the chat, everybody. I had some really beautiful video reel that professional videographers had captured for me at several different events. I had some fun little images. I had some really great testimonials. I had some visual credibility. I didn't want to drive to Portland, Oregon and create a situation where she would be filming me. I wanted to compile a whole variety of images and moving pictures from various source material and just have a videographer put it all together for me. And then the two of us worked on a voiceover, and she hired a professional voiceover guy to read it.
Wow.
I was super happy with it, because I was having a good hair day. We had some good snippets. There was some good credibility, and I'd had some professional headshots taken that year and felt pretty good about the way I was showing up. So you don't necessarily have to go on stage and perform in front of cameras for the purposes of creating your sizzle reel. You can just negotiate with the meeting planner. Will you have a videographer there as part of the package of bringing me to you, so that I can capture that content and use it as I see fit? It's a really nice negotiating strategy.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. I have another
So do you
question.
feel like, go ahead.
Should I put, now I didn't include on here, I wrote 2 books and a third one's coming out. One of the books, the content is dated, but it kind of shows that I saw the vision back then of how the industry changed. Do I put that on this or leave it off?
Well, relevance and congruence are good ideas. If the books are relevant and congruent to what you most want to speak about, go ahead and include them. And if they are not, leave one or more of them out. And in your case, since you're the author of the forthcoming book that could very well be your best work to date, you might also want to think about, do you want to give that book your full attention? The new book is the one where you're the most excited, because, it's sort of a personal decision.
Okay. All right.
I've written 3 books. I've been part of 3 different books, and I had a graphic designer kind of do a mashup image of all 3 books, but most of my books are very connected. The World's Greatest Speakers, Speak More, Marketing Strategies to Get More Speaking Business, and Bye Bye Boring Bio. They're all relevant and congruent and similar in their emphasis. And like, I have this product called Life Goes On Roadmap. These books are not at all relevant to Life Goes On Roadmap or anything I would talk about. So I would leave them out of my speaker sheet completely because nobody really cares, you know? So relevance and congruence are the things you want to be thinking about.
And then are we supposed to, I think you've been fantastic, by the way, and I can't thank you enough. This has been wonderful. You mentioned about after this working with you privately or another program. I don't want to take anyone else's time, but I'd be very interested in us connecting and knowing more about that. Just because
I'm so glad you asked about that. I actually posted a link in the Facebook group. It's called Business Acceleration Sessions with Nancy. And I posted a link so you can read about what's included. It's 2 private Zoom calls with me and a whole array of awesome intellectual property and the review of your speaker sheet, your bio, and your signature talk, all bundled up in this one amazing price.
Oh, wow.
And you can say yes to it now, and you can delay using your private sessions for as much as 18 months if that's your desire. But if you jump in now, you get the benefit of that awesome price, and you get to continue the work we've already started with no risk, because you already know if I'm the one that you feel comfortable learning from. And this is going to be something I wanted to say that I'm gaining some courage to say out loud. Sorry, the dog is barking. But one of the ahas I got from today's breakfast meeting was a huge one for me, and I'm just going to be very transparent in sharing it. There are coaches everywhere that are telling us all, you must have a premium priced offering and go premium as soon as possible if you want to make a lot of money in this industry. Have you heard that?
Yep, I have.
So one of the things I've been resisting all these years is going premium with my pricing. And why is that? I'm saying this for the first time out loud, so it may not be super smooth, but I think it will be revelatory for me to do this and courageous. What I know for sure, having invested in a lot of these high-end programs at significant investment, is that not everybody who does it comes out successful. The statistics are that the top 6% of the people that enroll in anything will get to the promised land, which means that 94% of the people will not. And I am a strong starter and a strong finisher, and any program I ever join at whatever investment, I always give it my very best because I'm fiscally responsible, and that's just the way I'm wired. But I've become very dismayed by how many people tell me, I did that big, huge, expensive program with high expectations, and when I was done, I was disappointed. And I don't like that. I mean, I charge a fair price for all of my programs, but I think most people would say that they're fairly accessible, affordable, and I try to go above and beyond the call of what is expected, because it's my intention that people will get huge value no matter what they invest, and that they'll speak highly of me wherever they go, and I won't have anybody complaining that they didn't get what they came for. And so the other issue that I've discovered is that year-long programs require a level of attention span that sometimes is not my genius. And so I like to offer short hop engagements to clients that they have an opportunity to re-up as they see value. But I don't really want to hamstring somebody to say, buy my 1-year $1 million program and let's link arms and see how it goes. I don't want any dead bodies in my wake. So you're probably wondering, like, how much is it to work with me? It's not that much. Go check out the link and see what value I've packed in and see if it appeals to you. But my big breakthrough from today's meeting that I went to, she said, what is your flaw or your weakness? And how could you do a superpower reframe to describe it in a way that it's actually a strength. And I said, people have been telling me your flaw is that you're low ticket. Why are you wasting your time with low tickets? And my superpower reframe today was, because I want to be an answer to a prayer. I want to be the antidote to big ticket fatigue and disappointment. I want to have the awesome success rate that will be unparalleled. And I want to offer practical, tactical, credible advice in short hops, which is where I'm most brilliant. I turned my weakness into a strength.
I love it.
Isn't that something? So I do have a way for you to work with me. It's a short hop engagement, and you can do as many of those as you like, as long as you're getting value. And if you know that I'm your person, let's do it.
All right. This is what I need, because I think your words, you're a wordsmith. You said that. I mean, you're brilliant at that. And I'll make everyone laugh. I'm not. I mean, if they say, how do we name this program? I mean, I would say, I call it program. I mean, I'm just so not a wordsmith that it's, to have someone like you just don't, that's not how that's not my brilliance at all. So.
Well, that brings me to a point that I think would be important. If humor is part of your personal style, that, my friend, is not something I got from reading your speaker sheet. And if we were to work more closely together and I could get your voice a little bit more, and if I had some video to watch, for example, we could find a way to describe you with a little bit more reflection of your true essence that you're now giving me now.
Okay, that's good, because humor is not anything that, again, that's not even my thing in speaking. So it's an area.
But you mentioned it, and that sort of begs the question. Lori Guest, when you look at Lori Guest's sizzle reel and you see her in action, she is authentic, funny, practical, powerful, and the one you want to have back again and again and again. Seeing, hearing is believing. And so that's the beauty of having video. So for those of you, everyone who's on this call, whether you're speaking to a small group, a large group, on a BeLive video, or whatever stage you're on, make sure you find out what people really think about your delivery and what's special and unique about it, so you can call that out. Because otherwise you're missing an opportunity to go from generic to specific, and people will pay a premium for specifics. It's like, do you go plain rap or do you go brand name? You'll pay a premium for a brand name because you know what you're getting, because it's got prestige or cachet or something extra, right?
Yep. Thank you.
So, you're welcome. So we got Jenny here, so I want to see if I can help her too, since this is our final call. So thank you, Andrea, for being here. Let me hear from you if you want to do something more, and let's make some magic happen. Ooh,
Sounds
she's
great.
got another call at 1:15, so we got to be quick. All right.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I upload. There's not very much changed on mine. I have engaged a graphic artist to go ahead and do this for me. She has me
Awesome.
getting good copies of. She has me figuring out if the photographs that I have are good or if I need to do a photo session. She has me figuring out if the logos that I have will work, or if I have to get vector logos in order to make them look good in the program. I've given her, 6 examples of the ones that we have looked at, so that she knows exactly what these look like. So I think I'm just about there. I have incorporated your suggestions from last week into the copy, and so I'm just about there with this. I'm feeling really good about it. I want to have it. I'm speaking at a conference at the end of September, a conference for the Food Coalition of Washington, and I'm speaking for free. They're bringing me in, but I'm speaking for free. I waived my fee because I'm going to be in front of 200 food banks from all over the state, and so I'm going to. I want to have it ready for that. And
well, then I want to see it. when you
Oh, of
post it. I
course.
want a success story. Yeah.
Of course. So we're deciding at this point what, I have lots of photographs, but I haven't been in a photo studio in 15 years. So
Well, can I make a comment about that?
sure.
I mean, if it's been 15 years, chances are we've all changed in that time period.
Oh, of course.
And but you know what's so cool? If you choose a photographer to take your picture in your best light with the kind of enthusiasm that you bring, and you can look at it as an opportunity for transformation, you will be amazed at the images that come back that will boost your confidence and boost your bottom line and will have you feeling like that was the best money you could have ever spent. Because I'll tell you something, I was very resistant to doing a photo shoot, and I hired a guy named Steve Cozart, and he was the camera guy for the camera shy. And I showed up at that photo shoot so unsteady, but when I saw the images that he took, it changed me fundamentally. I thought, maybe this vision I have of myself is so wrong. What others see isn't what I see. And I started stepping into a bolder confidence and more authenticity and more accessibility. And I don't know what it was, but having a professional photo shoot is a great gift you give to yourself, and you will not regret it. You will not regret it.
Well, I'm anything but camera shy, but but I can hear a camera focus at 30 paces. But if as I said, I have a lot of photographs, and what the graphic artist has suggested is, if you want to put this together, we will put it together with what you have. Then you can do your photo shoot, at your leisure, and we can always substitute photographs in later. We can always.
Brilliant.
So she will have it in her files and be able to upgrade it, and also be able to switch out testimonials, to switch out, whatever.
Well, and you're bringing up something that's like really common is, just like everything we do, the speech you write today isn't as good as the speech you write 2 drafts from now. But, we started, all of us in this group, with a sloppy first copy on a Word document. And for some of you, you got all the way to the design phase and you're ready to rock. And for some of you, you're just there right now. But what a transformation in a very short period of time. Confidence, message, a boldness of wanting to get out there and do it, some action steps to take to go the next level with building your list, getting your sizzle reel done. I mean, we've just barely scratched the surface of what's possible. We're never done. We're never done. So just continuous improvement, raise the bar. It doesn't cost that much for her to go in and make an adjustment. But if it's going to raise the bar and make you even cooler than you are already, why not?
Well,
right?
And it's really affordable. Once she's done the initial work, it doesn't take her very long to go in and make an adjustment. So it's not expensive at all. I want to just say, you talk about sloppy first copy. You've probably read Bird by Anne Lamott?
I haven't.
Anne Lamott is a writer, and this book
I love her work.
Is about writing. Or I keep thinking it's about writing. I've got to go because I've got a call in a minute. But I keep thinking it's about writing, but it's about everything. It's about life. Anne Lamott. It's called Bird by Bird, and she has a whole chapter called The Shitty First Draft. And that's exactly what it's about. Just get it out of your head and on the screen or on the paper.
Nice.
Because we want everything to come out of our head perfectly edited and perfectly rounded and perfectly worded, and it's not going to.
But when you get your sloppy first copy, you can grow from there. And so I know it's time. I have a call at 11:15 too. So Ginny, thank you. Ginny, Andrea, Denise, Marianne, and everyone who's coming back live and in whatever shape or thank you so much for showing up and taking the medicine. If you feel called to write a testimonial for me about what your experience was, the value and your results, I would consider that a great gift that I would happily share with others. And if you decide that you would like to work with me more completely, check out the business acceleration package that I posted in the Facebook group. I would love to continue the work. And I have one more thing I want to say. For those of you who are working in the retirement space, Marianne and Denise, and there was one other of you, maybe we can have a separate conversation about how Life Goes On Roadmap could possibly be something that could expand your offerings and serve people in a powerful way. I think that that might be a conversation that would serve all of us in win-win ways. And if you're game to do it, I'd love to chat privately with you about it. So with that, we are concluding the live sessions for the August Get Your Sizzling Speaker Sheet Done Challenge. It's been my pleasure to be with you. I'm so grateful for the changes that have happened. Please let me know the successes that unfold. And then, of course, I will be in the Facebook group continuing to provide feedback for those who post subsequently, because some folks had other scheduling issues that prevented them, and I like to make good on my promises because that's just the kind of gal I am. So it's been my pleasure to be with you, and I congratulate you all, and I hope that we have occasion to cross paths in other ways that will be win-win-win for everyone, and I can't wait for that to start. So thank you all, and we'll be with you next time. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.